Have you ever had to make an informational video explaining the special features of monkeys? You plan what you're going to say, drink water for that nice crystal clear sound, and start recording. After you finish and go over your video, you think it's best to add music to your project to spice it up. Remember, you spent the last remainder of your allowance on some new playing cards, so you can't afford nothing pricey. You search up free music I can use for my project, and there pops up a website called incompetech.com. You click on it, and you find endless suggestions of music, which are all free to use. You download the song Monkeys Spinning Monkeys and import it into your project. After finalizing your video, you feel delighted with it, all thanks to the power of royalty-free music. If you don't already know, I'm talking about Kevin Macleod, who is the composer of over 2,000 pieces of royalty-free music that are available for use via Creative Commons, which basically provides licenses that allow creators to set rules by which their work can be used by others. Anyone can download Macleod's tracks from his website incompetech.com for free, so long as they credit him as the composer. As such, his music has been used in thousands of videos, films, and games. I'm only just breaking the surface of this amazing musician. In this commentary, I will break down Kevin Macleod, the king of royalty-free music, his interesting life, and most importantly, how his music impacted the world. You will be glad you heard about him. Kevin Macleod, born in 1972 in Green Bay, Wisconsin, told TubeFilter that he had always been in music. He began composing on his computer as a youngster with an ear for melody and atmosphere. After studying music education in college, he became involved in the royalty-free music business during the 90s, when, as he says, it was a sad industry with a lot of bad music. TV stations and advertising companies were able to ask for royalty-free CDs, but Macleod wanted to give a helping hand to individuals who couldn't pay for existing packages. I figured I could do better, he said. Macleod worked in computer programming when he first set up Incompetech.com in 1996, and around 2005 started putting his original works on the site. Thanks to the power of the internet, he has been able to help creators who would otherwise struggle to find and afford cleared music. In a landscape where big record labels pugnaciously monitor YouTube in search of any unauthorized reuse of the music they own, a royalty-free collection like Macleod's makes it easy to give a video background music without having to agonize about rights issues. The composer believed copyright over the last 50 years to be badly broken and not helping creators, which was why he chose a license that allowed him to give away the rights he wished to surrender. He works on the premise that the more freely available an artist's music is, the more successful it will be. Kevin asserted in an article by the New Statesman, "Music in a closet is useless. It has to be performed. It has to be experienced in order for it to have value. And if you can increase your chances of getting your music experienced, you will increase its value." This is the way to do music distribution. You just give it away. Getting heard is the hardest thing. If you put anything in the way, if you're like, "I'll send you my album if you send me your email address." Nope. You're gonna lose half your people there. You have to create an account, you're gonna lose another half. It's got to be as freely available as possible. You want as much attention as you can get. This assertion, even though not practical for everyone, has proved to produce successful results for the composer. If you spent much time at all on YouTube or similar platforms over the last 15 years, you will have heard Macleod's work. His music being in video games such as Kerbal Space Program, Martin Scorsese's Oscar-nominated film Hugo, and countless videos, many which have millions of views. By giving away his music for free, he is increasing the number of people who hear it, and thus raising his own profile. Even if you haven't heard his name, or known his mark in the music world, this is the reason why so much of his computer-generated, nostalgic-leaning work will sound so familiar. Let's take a listen, shall we? With that being said, you can understand that Kevin Macleod is a very ambitious and genuine guy. He stated in TubeFilter that there was no way he would be as popular as he was if he started on the traditional path of charging upfront for music. On his Ask Me Anything session on Reddit, he said that there were amazing and wonderful uses of his pieces. On average, I get a note of something amazing every week or so, helping to get through cancer treatments, working with dementia patients. There are just some amazing stories, and I'm happy that I know about them. The composer receives daily donations through his website, and sells 3 separate levels of licenses for people who aren't able to credit him, such as TV and radio ad producers. Patreon is also having benefactors. In the response to the question of how the man makes a living, he said, "I don't know how it works. I know that I've always ended up with enough money, but I don't understand how society works. I don't understand how I'm rewarded for this. I'm glad that I am." But it's not about making money. It's about making the best product and then figuring out that eventually people will give you money for it, I guess. At this point, you can say that Macleod is on top of the world. I really shouldn't give him that high status, because he's just a simple guy with a knack for making music. Some of his pieces make you feel cheerful, some make you feel sad, and many more lie in the middle. But most importantly, they are all free to use. As you can see, Kevin has had quite the amazing story. Here, I would like to include some fun miscellaneous facts you probably didn't know about the man or his music, and overall summing up his impact on the world. First, an interesting fact you probably didn't know about Macleod is that he doesn't agonize over imperfections in his music. This is best represented in a Kickstarter article, in which a question is asked about Kevin if he listens to his own music critically. He states, "I've been happy with like 10 things in my life, ever. I know what's wrong. I knew what was wrong when I did it. I just didn't have the 50 hours to fix it. It's more like, what can I fix in another 3 hours? Can I fix all the major things and just get out and do another thing?" In this perspective, his outlook on flaws in his music is practical and freeing. Even though I, myself, typically aim for perfection and excellence in skills such as writing, piano, animation, I can understand Kevin's view of things. Is it worth it to spend those long, grueling hours? Or is the contrast between good and perfect ultimately insignificant? Macleod expressed in the article, "There's problems with anything I've ever done." Next, we can't continue without talking about the man's impressive schedule and cool musical setup. He wakes up, looks over emergency emails, orders some food, and gets working. On deadline days, he works for a mind-boggling 12 to 16 hours, if not 4 to 10 hours. Macleod loves his craft and is dedicated to it. Making music is what he does day to day. His music setup is the highlight of his living room. It is well made, and Kevin continually furnishes it with grim persistence. He works on projects, whether it be music to short films or video games, in his home studio, which features a keyboard, a huge, gorgeous computer, and speakers with added flavor. The rest of his room has spare touches. The final thought-provoking fact I felt absolutely compelled to mention is the deep-rooted story of one of Macleod's many songs, specifically Sunflower Dance Party, a type of synthy, peppy, high-spirited, 8-bit video game-styled work. Macleod told of an interesting anecdote with this composition that I believe deserves your watch. In the Kickstarter article, he stated that Dance Party was a piece meant to give off an energetic and lively feel with listeners, and he saw to it that musical works like it sold with audiences. But what many didn't know is that this wasn't the energetic mood that Kevin felt when he composed this piece. He stated that he got up in the morning not having the best day, feeling awful and generally sad, but he was determined to mend that feeling by writing the happiest music he could come up with to clear his head. Let's take a listen. At nearly 6 minutes long, Sunflower Dance Party is one of Macleod's longer and more extensive works. He says it's because he never wanted it to end. For someone whose pieces is oftentimes in the background, he lets feeling direct him a lot when making music, and simply composes based on the mood he's in on any given occasion. This just goes to show Kevin's authentic character, because he doesn't make music for what others want to see or hear, but he does it for what he personally feels best. Overall, Kevin Macleod is a guy that you probably don't know or wouldn't recognize, but his music and story is inspiring, and he has made a crucial impact on the world. He is sometimes referred to as the king of royalty-free music, or the internet's composer, not because of his power, rank, or influence, but because there will never be any like him, not one that shares the sole name of Kevin Macleod.
So you're watching YouTube and you're like, oh, that's my tune.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's Meatball Party. That's, yeah.
That was the inspiring story of Kevin Macleod. But surprisingly, we're not finished. I really want to go back to that particular song mentioned previously, Sunflower Dance Party. I believe the message of how Kevin wasn't having his best when he composed that piece, and using it as a way to make himself feel better, is a valuable piece of understanding. Here, I would like to discuss the importance of vibes and released energy, and how leaning to uplifting things, such as a lively song or a high-spirited person, reflects back to you to make you feel those positive and uplifting feelings. More is to be looked forward on and anticipated in today's Storytime episode. Enjoy. The Energy Song. Oh man, this cleaning is so much work. I keep telling C-Square over and over again to not track his dirty feet into the kitchen. And I keep telling Caden to not eat food in this space. Okay, I put that sign there for him to see. That should do it. Finally, I can take me a nap. Man, I just wish that boy would just listen. I mean, why does he even do that? That's what a table is for. Okay, Mom, try to look at the bright side. At least you cleaned that mess, so that's an accomplishment. Just motivate yourself. Just get through this list. Let's see. Okay, clean up mess in kitchen, I did that. So all I have to do is work in bathroom and vacuum the living room. Bathroom, living room. Oh, wow, this was less harder than I expected. Wait. Ill, gross. He didn't even flush the toilet. I can't stand Caden doing that. What else is there to do in hit? And I keep telling C-Square to immediately clean the tub after he bathes. Now that leftover dirt and hair is going to be much harder to come off. How does he keep forgetting to do that? Where do I even start? Oh man, that was so much work. And there's still so much in this house that needs to be done. Hey, Mom. What? Oh, it's you. Me and Caden both came here because we want you to look at this cool song I made. Oh, son, listen. I would love to look at whatever project thing you made, but your mom is really tired right now. But Mom, it's really cool. Sorry, I need to vacuum this living room and not waste my time on that. You don't know the inner peace and tranquility I'll have by completing this checklist. Can you just let me vacuum and take my nap, please? Aw, but Mom. Okay, fine. I guess, if that's gonna make you be quiet. Are you ready for this coolness, Mom? I really hope this is worth my time. Since you're so uninterested, I'm only going to play a part of it. Hopefully that makes you feel better. Wow, something you did right. So, what did you think? Mom, you don't have to make such a big deal of that. I made that with Apple's loop.
I feel so much energy! All clean.
Mom, that's just an ordinary song I wrote. I'm not a natural at composing.
Huh? What did you say, son?
Play it again. I need more energy. That's it. You made it to the end of the video. Hopefully I made your day. Tell me what you thought of Kevin Macleod. I would love to read all your comments. His interesting story is one that deserves a spot on this channel. If you found this video enjoyable, go subscribe. I cover many wholesome and inspiring stories such as this on C-Square too. Stay tuned, eat your veggies, and lastly, see ya, Squarians.